I'm Doug Lombardi. I'm from Valve, and we're showing Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is a new game from Valve that's attempting to do for cooperative multiplayer gaming what Counter-Strike did for traditional multiplayer gaming. And specifically, that means sort of like bring sort of new highs to the genre, also make it a more dynamic experience. And we're concentrating a lot on this thing we call the AI director, which is there to sort of make each round or each time you play the game different. So it's setting up the population in each room, in each level, differently each time you play it. It's also monitoring your skills and the team skills to sort of subtly adjust difficulty. And finally, it's also keeping an eye on pacing. We found in playtesting that if players are exposed to combat for too long, they'll get this thing that we call battle fatigue, where they're just sort of sensory overloaded and they sort of need to put down the mice to get a break. And so what we're trying to do is schedule those breaks and sort of use those as times to sort of fill in a little bit of the horror and sort of the zombie apocalypse. So there's two modes in Left 4 Dead. There's the survival campaign mode, which you play as one of 4 human characters that are immune to this virus that's broken out and turned everybody into mutants. That's played out like an RTS. There's 4 large campaigns, each has 5 maps. You can play that 1 to 4 players. Bots will fill in the other survivor modes depending on how many humans you have playing. Then we also have what we call deathmatch mode, where you can play 1 to 4 players on the survivor side or 1 to 4 players on the boss infected side. And in that mode, it's really different than traditional deathmatch games where basically you have 2 identical teams playing each other. In Left 4 Dead, the boss infected guys don't have any guns. All they have is their special mutant ability. So the smoker has this 50-foot tongue that he'll grab people and pull them and hang them out by. The boomer has this belly full of methane gas where he'll try to charge you and scare you into shooting him, and he acts as a human grenade. So what's neat about that is it's almost like a griefer's paradise, if you will, where folks that just want to go on a server and completely just wreak havoc and be disruptive, Left 4 Dead is their game, play as the boss infected, done. For us, we think that for this sort of next generation co-op game to be successful is that you almost have to beat players into submission to act cooperatively. So in a similar way that Counter-Strike was unapologetically unforgiving with respect to one shot and you're out for the round, Left 4 Dead is being similarly unapologetic in terms of if you don't act as a team, you're not going to be successful. So if one player tries to go off rogue and says, oh, my team is being too slow, I'm just going to charge ahead, unless he is a super badass, he's going to get owned. And then there's more subtle sort of reminders or reinforcements of that cooperative play. Also, if he gets taken down in the street, for example, he'll be laying there and he can still shoot and use his weapon, but he can't progress until you come and revive him and bring him back up. You can also do more subtle things, like if you're doing really well and somebody needs health, you can toss somebody your health back. And there's a lot of other subtle things like that, just to sort of encourage teamwork and to get players acting more as a unit, and less as just a bunch of Rambos who happen to be put on the same team together. A lot of Valve's success has come from being very open and supportive of the mod community. Counter-Strike came from the mod community, Dave Defeat came from the mod community, Team Fortress came from the mod community. So a lot of our employees, a lot of our properties came from that community. So with Left 4 Dead, we're obviously going to continue that tradition, and folks can count on an SDK coming out a few weeks after launch. Folks who are working with Hammer right now and making maps for the Source engine could probably get a jump start on making some maps and thinking about what they want to do with Left 4 Dead. And then once the APIs come out for the AI director and populating those maps with the zombies and the boss zombies, they'll sort of have a jump on getting that stuff out there. The 360 version of Left 4 Dead is being built internally at Valve. We've sort of evolved to a point where we have a resident team, a resident version of the engine. And so for us, I think we've moved forward a long ways from Half-Life 1, which came out on the PC in 1998 and came out on the console, I think, in 2001. So I think we've evolved to not only have simultaneous launches, but also have games that were pretty much indistinguishable, and it's just a matter of which platform you want to play it on. Left 4 Dead is a new co-op survival horror game from Valve, coming to the Xbox 360 and the PC this fall.